Thinking about moving to downtown Vancouver? Well, you are in luck. In this video, I'm going to go through the pros and the cons, the good and the bad of living in downtown Vancouver. So join me as I uncover the truth about what's rated Canada's most livable downtown cores. And make sure you stick around to the very end because I'm going to share an eye-opening fact that just might change your perspective on living in this community. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is about real estate in Vancouver, subscribe below. Tap the bell for notifications to be the first to learn what's going on in the current market here in Vancouver. My name is Megan Becker, local realtor, eXp Realty. Myself and my team get calls every day looking for people to make a move to or within this incredible city. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give me a call, text, or email, and I'm excited to help you make a smooth move to the best city in Canada. Now let's talk downtown. So quick fun fact, this is actually the community that I call home. I've lived in downtown now for a year, and I'm going to share with you why I love it and some cons. You know, I always say there's no perfect location, there is only a perfect for you location. So the pros need to outweigh the cons of wherever you are looking to make a move to. So let's walk through, and we're going to start with pro number one. So pro number one is the vibrant urban lifestyle. There's so much going on. I love being in the heart of everything, whether that's the entertainment district, there's venues for music, for theater, there's restaurants, cafes, every type of shopping that you can imagine. There's cultural attractions, there's always different festivals and themes regardless of where you're at, and there's always celebrations and the city themes events, and it's all pretty much centered in this downtown core. You've got BC Place, you've got Rogers Arena for all the sporting events, so you can go out with your friends, whether you're going to a sporting event or a concert, go for dinner close by, go for drinks after. Everything is in a walkable community. And that's one of the things that I love is I can go meet friends, I can go for dinner, I can go for drinks, I can go to sporting events, I can go to the theater, and it's all walking distance from my place. Which leads me into pro number two is the walkability. You don't have to have a car to live downtown. I do because real estate, and I think it would look pretty funny if I jumped off a bus to go meet my clients. But if you didn't have a car, you would survive very well in downtown. And I really do. I love the fact that my car is in the parkade and there's, you know, a couple like 2 or 3 days go by and I haven't seen my car, but I really enjoy the fact that I can walk everywhere. The public transportation is really incredible. The bus system, there is the SkyTrain, so you've got Chinatown Station, which takes you east, and then you've got Canada Line in Yaletown, which is a close walk, and that takes you directly to the airport. So you're so connected to wherever you need to go in the Lower Mainland. Plus, you've got the C Bus, which will take you over to North Vancouver. And then you've got options like the Evo car share program, obviously Uber, taxis, there's the Mobi bikes that you can get in and around downtown and the close communities really easy, just grabbing a bike to rent for the day or for a couple hours. Or I have a yearly pass that costs about $120 for the year, and I can grab a bike wherever I need to go. So if it's a little bit too long of a walk but a short enough bike, there's a great option there. And I have friends that they don't even own a car and they bike everywhere. They've got e-bikes, which just allows you to cover way more ground in a shorter period of time and less energy expended. But all in all, downtown is very walkable. You can go grab your groceries, you can go to drugstores, drop off your dry cleaning, go to the bank, all of those different types of amenities, get your nails done, hair, all that kind of stuff right at your fingertips. Pro number three is the waterfront views. You have some stunning, spectacular views here. There's ocean, mountains, you've got sunrise, sunset, just depending where you are actually located in the downtown core, but there's typically some incredible views. That being said, the closer that you get to the water, the better your views are. You are going to pay for that in your real estate prices. But even if you can't afford the view, you can head out, you know, your condo and go straight to the seawall or to the beach, or you've got the view of the North Shore Mountains or False Creek, depending on where you're located there. And that was a big thing for me. I wanted to be a couple blocks to the seawall. I love running and I just love walking and being outdoors, and I think there's is something so therapeutic about seeing water and just being by the water. That was one of my criteria when I wanted to figure out where I'm gonna live, is it had to be a couple blocks to the seawall. Pro number 4 is there's so many cultural and recreational amenities here. Downtown is home to a wealth of cultural institutions, museums, theaters, art galleries, music venues, and this really provides residents with world-class entertainment options. And the city designers have really done a great job with urban planning in maximizing the amount of green space and just attractive recreational areas. You'll notice that for a downtown community that is typically classified maybe as a concrete jungle, there are a lot of green spaces. There's numerous dog parks in and around the downtown core. You've got the seawall, lots of like little green pockets, green spaces where you can maximize and enjoy the views wherever you're at in downtown. And number 5 is just the dynamic community. Vancouver is a draw. There's so many people that are moving here from other areas, and it's just a melting pot of different cultures, different backgrounds, people of all different walks of life. You've got professionals, you've got students, you've got people in the arts, you've got entrepreneurs, people in the tech space, all from all over the world. So it really fosters this diverse community, and it's actually smaller than you would think. I love the fact that living in downtown, you know, you kind of feel like you might just get lost in the midst of things. You stare up all these big skyscrapers and everything, and so it kind of makes you feel really small and insignificant. But one of the things that I really love is going out, I'm running errands, or I'm grabbing a coffee, or I'm walking to the gym, and I continually run into people that I know. And it brings this whole like huge community into this smaller, like almost I don't want to say a small town vibe because it's not that, but it's really cool when you can walk around your community and just run into people casually. So to summarize, there are my 5 biggest pros. For me, it fits my lifestyle. One or the other, maybe I'll add this as a 6th pro, and it's more specific to me. This really depends on where you're commuting, where you're going, but I want it, being in real estate, I need to have easy access to all parts of Vancouver. And so I like that I'm close to the Cambie Street Bridge, the Georgia Viaduct, or Burrard and Granville, that I can have easy access out of downtown if I need to get out or get in from wherever I'm traveling. And that's one of the things that I always encourage clients to do, is because Vancouver is so dense, there's so many people here, is to look where you want to live, but also where do you commute? Where do you go regularly? And so that's one of the things that I really like about the downtown core, is I do have easy access off the peninsula when I do need to go in and out. All right, we're gonna move into the cons of living in downtown. So con number 1 is, you probably guessed it, it's the high real estate prices. Yes, condo living is what you're going to find most in the downtown core. You're going to find some townhomes that are gonna, typically the townhomes are at the bottom of the tall towers, but it's comprised most of apartment style condo buildings and high rises. And yeah, it is rated one of Canada's most expensive places to live is downtown Vancouver. So it's one of those things that you have to weigh the pros and cons for you personally. Does it make sense to spend a little bit more on housing and scale back in maybe some of the other areas? What is most important to you? Coupled with the high real estate prices, cost of living is typically more expensive here as well. Groceries, things like that, parking, all of the other things that come along with living in downtown. Con number 2 is the amount of noise. There are a lot of people in a small space in downtown. So downtown Vancouver covers approximately 2 square miles, and there is anywhere between 70 and 80,000 people residing in downtown at any given time. It fluctuates based on residential development, mostly tourism, but that is a lot of people in a small space. So if you're sensitive to noise, that is one thing I would definitely have you consider. I sleep with earplugs in, that is a for sure, because there's just a lot of people here. There's sirens. Even if you're high up, you can hear yelling, depending if you're close to any restaurants, nightclubs, stadiums, things like that. You're gonna get the noise that travels. And so if it's something that you are sensitive to, either invest in a good set of earplugs like I have, or maybe consider elsewhere. But that is one of the sacrifices. I love being in the heart of everything and kind of having all the entertainment stuff at my doorstep, but the sacrifice is you gotta put up with a little bit of noise. So another thing that contributes to the noise is tourism. So you have sporting events, you have concerts, big events like that are going to draw more tourists to the area. So that is going to be one of the things that, again, exacerbates the amount of noise anytime there are football games, hockey games, concerts. So again, something to be aware of there. Kind of look at the schedule, know when things are going on. Con number 3 is the traffic congestion and parking challenges in downtown. So lots of the buildings actually don't come with visitor parking. So that is something to consider. I know my building, it doesn't have visitor parking. So anytime I have visitors over, they have to pay for parking, and it's not ideal. But that is something to consider. Parking, on another note, is not cheap either. You can download the parking app and you can set in whatever parking time increment that you want, but it's traditionally not cheap either. And then parkades are traditionally very expensive as well, if you can even find parking. And depending when you or your guests are trying to find parking, example, if you're living close to the stadium and there's a game that night, good luck trying to find parking for your guests there. So that is one of the downfalls there. And just the congestion. I know anytime that, again, use the example of either a BC Lions or Canucks game, anytime I'm trying to drive in and around my place and there's a game, it can take a very long time. It can take 20 minutes to go a couple blocks sometimes. So something to be aware of as well. Understanding, and I think how I really compensate that is I understand, I know what's going on. Oh yeah, there's a game tonight. I leave myself extra time. Start to know the schedule of things when things happen. Okay, there's a concert. It starts at this time. Traffic is going to be a little bit busier. Restaurants are going to be busier on nights of big events like that. Con number 4 is the amount of homelessness and the safety concerns that surround that. Downtown Vancouver has a very visible homeless population. This is more concentrated in the downtown east side, but does spread out into the rest of the downtown area as well. While the city does have initiatives to address this and improve the safety in and around these areas, there are still safety concerns that you as a potential resident do want to be aware of. Things like panhandling and substance abuse and other social issues are very prevalent in some of these areas. And like I mentioned, it's more isolated in the downtown east side, and so it's something to be aware of. The gym that I currently go to is actually in the downtown east side, just in Gastown, and I walk there on a daily basis. And actually, I've never felt unsafe, but it's an area that I'm not 2 headphones in and head down texting on my phone. I will only ever have one earbud in, and then I'm not texting, I'm not looking down, and I'm just aware of my surroundings. I'm walking on purpose, and I'm just noticing what's around me, because there are a lot of homeless. And for the most part, they are very harmless, but there have been incidents that happen that could really scare people. And so it's definitely something to be aware of. And so if that is a safety concern of yours, that's where it comes in handy of talking to a real estate professional that understands different areas. You might see like, oh, there's this really amazing condo. It's gorgeous inside and the price is pretty reasonable. And you might get really excited about it, but it might not be in the most ideal area. And that happens quite a bit with Gastown. I have had clients that have purchased and have sold in there. And like I said, you have to go with what are your pros and cons? What are the things that you're comfortable with and not comfortable with, and making a decision regarding that. But it is something important to be very considerate of if you're not familiar with the area. And number 5 con is the size. Yep, you're gonna find smaller condos for high prices here, but that is like real estate. Location is everything. If you want to be in the heart of everything, easy access to all of the amenities that I spoke about, close to the seawall, that's what you're paying for. And so it's not unreasonable to find studio apartments, so no bedroom, that are 450 square feet that are in and around that $500,000 mark. Finding a 1-bed, 1-bath in and around that $600 to $700 mark, a 2-bed, 1-bath in and around that $700 to $800 mark, and then it just goes up from there. And like I mentioned, the higher the floor you are on, the closer to the water, the more amenities in the building, the newness of the building, that's going to affect and obviously increase your real estate prices. But things are typically on the smaller side here. And if you are used to having space, it's something that you're definitely going to have to get used to. I moved from Edmonton. It was about a 1,200 square foot townhome. It was a 2-story and had a basement. I had a garage. And then I moved into a 1-bed, 1-bath. It was about 550 square feet. And it took some getting used to. I had to downsize significantly. And again, for me, that was okay. I actually kind of found the decluttering and the getting rid of stuff almost therapeutic. I do tend towards that minimalism mindset there, but for some people, maybe you have a family and you just need more room and more space. It is something to be aware of. If you absolutely have to have that second bedroom for an office or something else, or you've got a young child or something like that, it is something to be aware of there and kind of weighing out those pros and cons. I have clients that they fell in love with the downtown core because, you know, at that stage, they were younger, they were partying, they were going out all the time. And then, you know, they started having kids and started to really figure out like, okay, downtown is not the right area. There are schools, but there's more areas in Vancouver that I would say are more conducive to that family lifestyle, having kids open up the front door and run around than downtown Vancouver. And not to mention, kids take up a lot of space too. So going back, wrapping things up, con number 5 is the lack of space. So if that's something that's really important to you, I would say we look somewhere else where you can get a little bit more square footage for your dollar. And thanks for sticking around to the very end. So the perspective that I want to share is really the mindset of the good and the bad. So downtown is very busy. That might be everything that somebody is looking for, and it might be everything somebody is not looking for. So really the take-home message here is understand what's important to you. That's why I always start every meeting when I sit down with new clients that are looking to purchase is I want to know what are your goals and what is your lifestyle, because I want to help find a property in an area that's conducive to your lifestyle. So if you don't like being in the heart of everything and you don't like busyness, you're more secluded, you don't need to be in a certain location, downtown might not be for you. You love the water, but you want it a little bit more quiet. There might be another area than downtown. But if you love being in the heart of everything, you want to walk to all the restaurants, all the pubs, all the entertainment and the nightlife, and you don't mind the noise, you're like me, you have some earplugs and you're good. Downtown might be the place that you want to call home. So that all being said, real estate really comes down to what fits your lifestyle and your goals. So if you're considering making a move to Vancouver, I would love the opportunity to connect and chat and tour you around the greatest city in Canada. So please reach out. All my info is in the description box below, and I would be happy to have a conversation. And until next time, speaking of being in the heart of everything, I'm going to a networking event that is 3 blocks away from my house. So gonna get changed and go over and meet some people.